Album Concept Hour. The Album Concept Hour. It's the Album Concept Hour.
Oh, yes.
The album was put together in the order it is for a reason, because you're meant to listen to it from beginning to end, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, we've been discovering that a lot.
Well, yeah, Adele
on this
agrees.
podcast.
Adele agrees, too.
I love Adele.
Yeah,
And she has a great voice.
She's part of the reason that
can we do
Spotify
21?
stopped doing. We do have to do Adele at some point, but that's part of the reason Spotify stopped doing the default shuffle as much.
Mm-hmm.
It just still does it sometimes, but like I've noticed it doesn't do it most of the time now.
I hated that.
Maybe the artist has control over that.
I would
now.
try and listen to an album on Spotify when we were doing this,
I know.
and like it would just. I'd get 2 tracks in, and all of a sudden, I'm like, this isn't.
Well, yeah, I'll
right?
come back to like I'll press play on the album, come back to clip it out, and then it'll be like, this is all out of order. What the fuck? Like now I have to like actually listen to lyrics, mention, if I know the album well, it's fine, but it's Anyway.
Anyways.
So yeah, I'll do the intro spiel, and then we can get into the rest of this. Our gripes about Spotify. I'll roll into it. Welcome everybody to the Album Concept Hour. I am your host, Brad LeBaron, as I have been all of these 128 odd episodes. And we're almost at 130. We're almost there, yeah. Another 10. I am here, as always, with my co-hosts, with the Mo-hosts. We got John. What's going on, John?
Oh, just ready to cover some Liz Phair today, my
Liz Phair, Exile in Guyville is what we're doing from 1993. And we also have Dave Gallagher. What's going on, Dave?
Hey, just along for the ride.
Just along for the ride to Guyville.
Dave's always in the back
Guyville,
in the back seat, just like
He's
vibing.
He's vibing. He's vibing. And we actually have one of Dave's good friends. Dave's a longtime friend. I've met at a couple of Dave's Beermas events throughout the years.
Merry Beersmas.
This is Jay Newbury. Welcome to the podcast. Guys? What's going on, man?
May I say your beard is most excellent, sir.
It is.
Thank you, sir.
It is an excellent beard.
That.
It is an excellent beard. Yeah,
it's very Santa Claus as well.
Yeah, I wish this was a visual medium, but it's a good one.
Yeah, you must be a hit at Beersmas.
Well, it might be on the thumbnail for the episode. So you might see this glorious beard if you clicked on it from the ad. You brought Liz Phair's Exile in Guyville to the table. Which we're really excited to talk about. What is it about Liz Phair's Exile in Guyville that is one that you really wanted to talk about?
Oh boy. Well, like I said, I've been listening to the record since it first came out. And
yeah, you were mentioning that before the recording.
You said you were in
college age at that point.
Yeah, I think it was a junior. I want to say. Because I'm that kind of old. And I just remember when it came out, it was all over the college radio, and the couple of songs that they played often I very much liked. I think, we'll get into those tracks eventually, but...
Yeah. There's a few music videos.
And that was right about the time where I was starting to, branch out into listening to more, female singer-songwriters, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes you get real stuck on dudes for a long time. As a dude, you're just like, oh man, I love the testosterone filled rock or whatever. And then eventually you're like,
a Dylan phase at the time, right?
Oh well, that's not necessarily
very nice.
That's not testosterone fueled. Then that's a little different.
And about that time, Liz Phair and Ani DeFranco and the female
the 90s female wave.
Singer-songwriters was coming out, and the first couple albums of both of them just kind of hit me.
Yeah.
So, I've been listening to that record forever, and another good friend of ours, Ian, this is probably his favorite record.
Yeah.
So it's one I've listened to a lot and talked about a lot.
Yeah. Well, now we will finally get it on record, your feelings on the matter. But if you're at parties, you can be like, hey, well, actually, if you want to really get into it, I have broken this down track by track.
There's this podcast I was a guest on. You guys should check it out.
Yeah. You know, that wouldn't be too bad either if you mentioned the podcast. But
click here to learn more.
But yeah, I mean, that's like those situations are pretty much the reason like a podcast like this exists. You know, it's like because we are those guys that like to sit around at parties and just chat about music.
Yep.
Know?
Probably a little too much.
You know, but you find other people that like to chat about music. It's fun.
Yeah, that was my history and story going to the bars with friends. We would just sit in a corner, grab a couple of pictures, and just talk about music all night.
Yeah. Some random stranger
everything went on.
Make a point and comes over to talk to you.
Wow, and it wasn't even on microphones.
I've had that happen to me at the bar before. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
But no, you know, I really like hearing all this. Like, so you're going through a Dylan phase, and you pick up some Liz Phair, you know. Yeah. So what really? I gotta ask you. One of the questions we always like to ask on this podcast, you know, for newbies like yourself,
yes,
is you know, what really got you into music first? Then, like, I'd love to hear some of your story. You know.
Oh boy.
How'd you get to a Dylan phase in the first?
Yes. What took you to the Dylan phase?
The first record that really hooked me was probably The Doors' "L.A. Woman."
Oh wow.
Okay.
And I listened to that was on wax. I'm like 13.
Yeah.
And I think I listened that thing down till it was flat. And
yeah.
About that's that awesome. Time there was a group of friends where our friend's sister went to college in Chicago at Circle Campus at Chicago University.
Okay.
And my hometown's only about an hour from there. So she'd be home like every other weekend and would literally just bring like a stack of records home because she was a music major.
Okay.
And in our like clubhouse, it was just like the basement of their house's summer house. We had like a pool table and a record player and a couple other things down in there, and we would just hang out in there and listen to records.
That is balls to the walls.
It would always just be like a stack of stuff, and she was all over the place. Like I've told Dave this story before. Like there was one stack where it was like. I want to say there was like a Talking Heads album in it. There was the first Grandmaster Flash album in the stack.
Oh.
There was like one of the Elvis Costello albums. I could swear there was a Pogues album in it.
Oh my God.
But she would just bring these stacks of just records from all over the place.
Yeah.
And just literally go, here, listen to these.
So you had the older sister from Almost Famous, basically.
Yeah, well,
that's
my
awesome.
buddy Mike.
Your buddy,
yes.
your buddy Mike did. Yeah. And you were able to experience that harvest as well. That's fucking great.
Yeah. And so I got hooked early, and we even like I said, we branched out hard. Like I think I was a sophomore in college when I bought my first copy of Miles Davis' Bitches Brew.
Wow. Oh, tight. That's a good one to have.
Because by that point, we'd branched out into jazz and blues and all this stuff because she would, like I said, bring home just anything.
Everything.
So
you listened
to
to
Muddy
enough.
Waters, Miles Davis, you name it, right?
Yeah, there's no end really to the like journey through music or whatever. You know, there's
Very
just
true.
more music.
There's just the next thing you find.
I used to think that maybe there was a limit, and then I started doing this podcast. And now
seriously
I don't know.
though.
Yeah, now I don't know.
And I don't think we've done a bad album yet either.
Oh, we've done a couple. Well, that depends on how you feel.
Chris Gaines was bad.
Well, Chris Gaines was That's objectively.
You're right. We've finally progressed to bad albums.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Brett,
but
for the most part, concept albums are usually a very high level of effort is put into them.
Unless the concept was to be bad.
In which I guess good job. But this one is not bad at all, though. So eventually that led you to be able to appreciate Liz Phair when it came out.
Yeah, and I mean it didn't help that it was young guy in college, that it was also popular with college women, right?
Oh, of course.
That's fair. Yeah.
So
that's Liz Phair.
That's Liz Phair.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. But yeah, that I've always wondered about that time because like I was like so young when that time was happening. Not to make you feel old, I was like 4 or 5 when this came out, and I love like the young me loved the female empowerment movement through the music that I was hearing, but I obviously had no fucking clue what it meant or what it, why. My mom was going through a divorce at the time, so like I think that probably is why I heard a lot of it too. But like I didn't know the connections between that and like an actual movement happening with women. But
yeah, it was another resurgence in like music with female singers that wasn't disco.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like they had all that good stuff in the 60s and then the soul of the early 70s, and then it just kind of devolved into disco for a while.
And then pop kind of started to rule in the 80s.
Yep, and that's when you started hearing a lot of female artists again.
And then this was a divergence from that, which is like more indie lo-fi or maybe alternative female artists really taking center stage.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, between this, Alanis Morissette, was the Breeders at this time?
Pixies were still going at the moment. Breeders were about a year out, I think.
95.
Yeah, I feel like we just talked about this on a different episode.
Because they're on the state, they use that a few times. Yeah, probably 95-ish.
So, oh, David. How many episodes have we done? 128, 129. Future Brad has never heard David be wrong, but David, it pains me to say this to you, but the Breeders actually got together before the Pixies broke up. They had a few albums even. One of them was Pod, which Kurt Cobain loved. It's one of his all-time favorite albums. And then when the Pixies broke up in 93, they released their album Last Splash, which ended up being a big hit right around the same time as Liz Phair. So, David, it pains me to correct you on this. I never thought I'd see the day. A lot of really cool stuff happening for women. Hole. Yep.
Garbage.
It was Garbage.
I think Slater Kinney. Well, that was a little bit later. That was like 98 or something. I think Slater Kinney was just starting out in 94 or 95.
Okay. Yeah.
When did Bikini Kill come out?
Ooh, Bikini Kill. I love me some Bikini Kill.
I want to say that like their first singles, I want to say were early 90s. Yeah.
Like
so Rebel Girl and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure that was right about this time too.
Yeah.
Because it was just before, or right about the same time that it must have been a little earlier because it was just after Beastie Boys put out Ill Communication, I want to think. Was when Bikini Kill first started.
Yeah, it was around the same time, I think, because they ran in similar circles, and fucking Bikini Kill rips. Like my friend had a couple Bikini Kill records, and that was constantly on rotation.
They were either just in Milwaukee or coming up in a week or so.
Oh, okay. I'll have to maybe see if I can get out to a Bikini Kill show. Well, so that's kind of the stage, I guess, for this kind of time period in the 90s, especially for empowered female songwriters, and just a great time for it. We got 18 tracks to get through for this one, so we're going on them, and so just to give a quick rundown of the kind of concept that we're approaching here is this one's got kind of a dual concepts. Maybe there's probably multiple layers, but there's the obvious Exile in Guyville aspect to it, where she's talking about her experiences either with men or in the music scene as a woman, but there's also an added layer that she is responding to the songs from Rolling Stone's Exile on Main Street, where so there's 18 tracks on that one. A couple of them line up more than others, but she essentially was looking for a way to frame the album that she was trying to put together, and that is what she came upon. So we'll touch on that more as we go, but that's the kind of TLDR for the Exile in Guyville. And this first track we have for you guys is a little track called 6'1".
I bet you fall in bed too easily with the beautiful girls who are shyly brave, and you sell yourself as a man to save, but all the money in the world is not enough.
Oh yeah, great. That's the first verse of the first
6'1"
track. So yeah. I like that she gets right to it with her sound as far as her songwriting goes. Like these are fairly short songs. You get by pretty quick and short and sweet.
And jumps right in with both feet with the guitar hook and vocal hook. That like kind of is, at least on this album, sort of the signature of most of of the songs, right?
Yeah,
like they all have a
definitely.
strong hook, in my opinion. At least most of them do.
Yeah, a very indie lo-fi guitar kind of hook. Like I think in one of the tracks, someone was explaining it like Brad Wood, the person that co-produced the album, kind of that's part of the thing he leaned on, was relying on her to have almost jazz-like guitar structures, because they were like weird chords and not major minor chords as much as just whatever she felt. And he didn't want to step on that too much. So look for that as we're listening. But really, really cool guitar work. But what do you think when the first track played, when you first heard the album? I'm kind of curious. Like, what was there a lot of other music that sounded like this at the time, or was this a very kind of diamond in the rough situation?
It's a little from column A, a little from column B.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a pretty 90s feel that you can recognize, right? When
Oh,
you hear
absolutely.
it, you can almost say that's early 90s.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And she's definitely was in that, but it's still, I remember hearing it and having like both, though I said it had a 90s feel, it was, never heard this sound before, right? New artist, new sound, and it stood out, especially, I remember the chorus of this particular one just stuck in my head all the time.
Oh, yeah.
After the first time I heard it, like it's one of those ones where you're walking down the street humming the chorus, right?
Yeah.
At least for me it was. And that first line that you played, that's killer. I remember every once in a while you hear that song where the like opening lyric of it, you just go, wait a second. And if you're listening to it on like a tape or a CD or whatever, you go, rewind it and listen again. And that's definitely what it was like for me the first time I heard this track.
Yeah. She's really cool with her words. The last part, what was it? I bet you fall in bed too easily with beautiful girls who are shyly brave, and sell yourself as a man to save, but all the money in the world is not enough. Yeah, it makes you think, It's like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Means she thinks she can save him, but it's not enough. It would never be enough.
Well, yeah, like, or he's acting like
that's what he uses to get.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I need to
you gotta save me, girl.
So yeah, this really kind of sets the stage for some of the other stuff we wanted to see in the album. 6'1" obviously is referring to the height of a just, I don't know, general like a man she might be encountering at the just out in the world.
A rando.
Those rando dudes. And her whole point in the chorus is, I kept standing 6'1" instead of 5'2", and I loved my life and I hated you. But like the whole idea that like she's like I think probably 5'2" is maybe her actual height, and then but she's like putting on a presence as she's like 6'1" to like kind of try to I don't know, meet the level of aggression coming from the dude that she's meeting in public. That's my read on it, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, that becomes a theme, right? Where the brash woman in the music industry and how the people aren't dealing with it well, right?
Yeah, because that's something that she's talked about a little bit. Like, she hasn't like specified like what bands or whatever, but she just said in general, like, the music scene was just difficult to navigate as a woman in Chicago. But she did it all. She did it all in spite of that. Came up with this 18-track indie album. Yeah. 6'1" though. Good track to start things out, and then we get to the track "Help Me Mary." Wait, this. Hold on, I gotta read this comment for 6'1". This is from Mongi on Genius. It says, "Literally ended the male rock scene." This song. So
I don't know if this guy knows what that really means.
I don't know, but they feel very strongly about it.
I mean, let me tell you.
At least 3 people agree. But anyway, this next track,
It's pretty good for the internet.
I just thought that was I love it when the internet is like that. But yeah, let's hear a little bit of "Help Me Mary," track 2.
Just how far I can bend as they egg me on and keep me mad. They play me like a pit bull in a basement, and for that I'm asking you, Mary.
Yeah, kind of coming off of what we were just talking about, the difficulty in the music scene there.
That's a hell of a line.
Yeah. That every time I hear that line, it just rocks me.
Yeah. There's a few lines, just one line, like it just hit.
It's one of those like things with that not all lyricists can do. They they treat me like a pit bull in a basement.
Yeah,
right? And you just know right there what that means.
Yeah. There's no deciphering necessary. Like, that's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, I really like that verse 3. I'm asking you, Mary, please temper my hatred with peace. Weave my disgust into fame, and watch how fast they run to the flames. Basically, she's basically being like, please, dear God, just help me get through this.
Yeah.
I'm disgusted by everything they're doing. But you know what? If I can just pull my way through this, I can turn this in. I
can turn this around.
Yes.
And
then she's like, then watch how fast they come back to me.
Yeah. Real Stevie Nicks energy.
Very
right
much
there.
So,
yeah. I think she had a similar quote in one of the things from Rumors.
Oh, the end one. The end
Gold
Dust Woman.
Gold Dust Woman, yeah, I think that
Like
was
the
it.
badass
Yeah.
woman.
She kind of foreshadowed like the next decade or whatever of fame. Like she was one of the better off after that. But yeah, I mean, you can just by looking at the album cover, like it definitely evokes a Stevie Nicks kind of thing just by the sight of it. But yeah, we should mention the cover is. I did hear her tell the story about the cover, and apparently she was like just in one of those old school photo booth things where you do like 4 pictures or whatever. And she was trying to like say something in 4 pictures, and so she was posing, and this was one of them. And the friend she was with, who apparently must have been in design or something, was like, "That's it. That's the cover right there. That's the cover." It was just like from that point forward, it was the prevailing cover for it. But yeah. The to get back to the Pitbull in the basement thing. Yeah, I think that. I've known people in, ladies in the music scene here in, Madison that experience this sometimes. Like if you even date a few of the guys in the music scene, all of a sudden, like shitty rumors about you start going around and shit. And so, being a, young, attractive woman as she was, like, I'm sure she was experiencing some of that and some of that kind of like backstabbing feeling that you get after feeling like you're close to the scene. And I can only imagine what the specifics are, but it can be hard.
It evokes that thing of like that the treatment that she's dangerous because but she's dangerous because of the way she's been treated.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the whole pit bull thing. Like pit bulls are only dangerous if you treat them badly, and sometimes they are treated badly because people assume they're going to be dangerous. So it becomes a big.
Yeah, yeah. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy for especially it's again perfect analogy.
You know, this is almost like a prequel to Alanis Morrisette, Jagged Little Pill.
Well, yeah, because wasn't that in
94? That was like 94, 95. This came first.
So this I was wondering that too, because like
these women were mad and they were letting the people know. You know,
goddamn Dave Coulee.
yeah. He was on blast from Alanis Morissette.
Why do you always think it's me?
Damn it, Uncle Joey.
Uncle Joey.
How dare you break her heart, Uncle Joey?
Yeah.
I would never have expected this.
The timeline's sketchy too. But this is Help Me Mary, and obviously Mother Mary comes up a lot
She
in
needs
these
some
songs.
divine help.
Yeah. I find that most of the time when she comes up, it's like it's a positive thing, or they're looking for like real guidance. You know, I don't know if it's just a Catholic thing we're seeing here, but
I think it might be.
But it's also a fun, maybe just a fun song trope.
Thing.
But yeah. Anyway, speaking of Mary, here's the next song we have for you is Glory.
Glory.
Here's Glory.
Flicks you down, scratching his face like a bone. He pulls you back, circa 1981. He pulls you back. You are.
Man, it's almost some Elliott Smith shit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
That
Definitely.
like ding, 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 you know, the same kind of strumming pattern that he uses a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Lo-fi. Yeah. Yeah, this is one of my favorite of the tracks in general, I think. This one really, really hits. And it's feels very personal, feels very intimate, this song. I know it's partially the production, but she's saying here, you know, snaking around in a club, it slicks you down, scratching his face like a bum. He pulls you back. Circa 1981, he pulls you back. And yeah, some people think that it could be about a dog because the first line is he's got a really big tongue. It rolls way out.
Or it's Gene Simmons.
It could be Gene Simmons. It could be Gene Simmons, or
You never know.
someone that's just got a horrifying tongue condition,
or some other demon that's similar to
yeah.
Gene
One of
Simmons.
his, maybe demon spawns of Gene Simmons.
They're out there,
but it's also could be about what I think it's about is maybe her first kiss or something. Because this would have been 1981 would be when she was 14, you know, and I don't know, kind of seems like it could fit that description too. Just another 14-year-old kid, just I don't know. What do you guys
I
think?
hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what someone suggested on Genius. I'll give the credit. It's Joe A.G. So thank you, Joe A.G. Oh, Joe and Johnny are the two people that have messaged, have done stuff on this.
they tag teamed it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Joes and Johnnies in this album.
Maybe it is the Joe
Maybe they're actually speaking.
and the Johnnies.
Yeah. You think this might be Soapstar Joe or Johnny Sunshine? Could be one of those two. They really, honestly, they missed an opportunity to just like make a new name and like do that. That's what I would have done. But yeah, I don't know, love this track. Just a great indie track in general. Pretty short though, you know, pretty goes by pretty quick. But and let's just check. Do a little quick check on the Rolling Stone
Shake Your Hips
list. Shake Your Hips is what this one
Not
is.
the Shakira song.
Yes, not the Shakira song. Hips do not lie. Or there's probably a bunch of them with hips.
But it's a quicker track, but it's also pretty fast.
Yeah. I don't This one feels like it doesn't connect as much. So we'll move on
Just
to
some
another
hips
track.
be shaking.
Hips be shaking. I guess maybe it was at a dance. Maybe it was at a dance that this
The Kiss
the Liz Phair one happened. But the next track, actually, speaking of dances,
with Rolling Stones playing in the background.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Perhaps. What if Shake Your Hips was playing when she had her first kiss?
It's like one day I'm going to make an album about this.
I'm gonna ask her that one day if I ever meet her, and she's gonna be like, "What the fuck did you just say?"
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. Speaking of dance, though, we have another track. This is "Dance of the Seven Veils."
Johnny, my love, you're already dead.
Oh no.
I only ask because I'm a real cunt in spring. You can rent me by the hour. I know all about the ugly pilgrim.
The last thing she says is, "I know about the ugly pilgrim thing. Entertainers bring May flowers."
Oh. Oh ho.
May flowers.
I only ask because I'm a real cunt in spring. Those are the lyrics.
Those are the lyrics. We are reading the lyrics. We're not just throwing around the cunt word.
Yes.
But I really dig the bluntness of this chorus, and especially bringing up the "I know about the ugly pilgrim thing." Which, have you thought about that lyric at all? Like, I'm on Genius, and someone gave a real good note. There's a lot of good notes for this one. I'll be honest. Genius is really coming through on this Liz Phair one. But
Can I?
I never really did think of that very much because I always just kind of got lost with the Rent Me by the Hour and the Entertainers Bring Me Flowers. So,
there's a
she's
lot.
kinda talking about her career.
That's
right?
true. There's a lot in that small section. You're right. Because Rent Me by the Hour is an allusion to being used for sex or something, and then
A woman of the night.
A woman of the night. And then but the following line, "I know you all about the ugly pilgrim thing," which I think what this person Sven the Vagabond suggests is that
You see him a lot.
no, sorry, Dan marked Sven's comment as a stretch, so he improved it with this thing. He said, "This is Dan replying. Phair's own interpretation of the ugly pilgrim thing is as follows. It makes more sense." And here is presumably a quote. "And the ugly pilgrim thing was the idea that we're all obsessed with celebrities in America since we don't have royalty, so we're just these plain, boring pilgrims. So entertainers being May flowers is this gorgeous, almost like Italian sensual stuff. Like we watch people getting killed and massacred, but if you show sex, it's taboo here. And to me, that's the ugly pilgrim thing." So, and that's apparently from Spam Culture from a 2010 interview. But I like that. Just there's layers and layers to this chorus.
Yeah. Can I say I really enjoyed her singing
Yeah.
this, especially on the
Excellent.
chorus.
Yeah.
It really reminds me kind of like a Joni Mitchell, Dusty Springfield, early end of the 60s, into the 70s, kind of like.
Absolutely, Joni
You know
Mitchell.
what I mean? Joni Mitchell a lot, really, particular.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
And both sides now.
I didn't think of that.
Or,
Good call.
Like that kind of style.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What were you
Yeah,
saying?
now that you mention it too, I not necessarily this track, but I can hear some Ricky Lee Jones in there too.
Okay. Yeah. There's a lot. She's I'm gonna really enjoy going into more of her stuff. I hope there's a lot more.
I have a feeling she's one of those artists that listen to a lot of music.
Yeah.
so,
Well, she was a entertainment major of some kind. I don't know. I don't think she ever meant to be center stage as much as a songwriter or behind the scenes. And then like a friend apparently encouraged her to actually make some demos of some of the songs that she was writing.
How many great artists do we have because of that proverbial friend who said, just play it yourself?
Oh,
right.
Well, we actually covered Tapestry.
I was going to say Tapestry is the best example of that.
And that is the perfect A1 example of like her peers, like Joni Mitchell and James, Sweet Baby James.
James Taylor.
Just like telling her, like, listen, you wrote all these songs for all these people. You can take all of them plus some of your own material and release it under your, like, you can sing this stuff. You're good. You're just as good as them.
Yeah. No.
Beautiful stuff.
So many, drawing from so many different things.
Takes more than one.
From the part you played, the definitely alluding to marriage, right? And he can skip the "Until Death Do You Part" because Johnny, my love, you're already dead.
Oh yeah.
I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, oh my God. Can you imagine somebody saying that to you? It would just be devastating. Like, okay, the conversation's over. I'm walking away. You win.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
You're already dead. And some people think that the Johnny in this case is John the Baptist from the Bible, because they have a part where where is it? Oh yeah. The odds are getting fatter by the minute that I have got a bright and shiny platter, and I'm gonna get your heavy head. Because apparently that's part of the story of John the Baptist. His head got cut off and brought to someone on a platter.
Yeah.
I forget who.
Yeah, it was brought to one of the kings on a platter.
Yeah. They like to do that back in the day. If
I remember correctly, King Herod.
Yeah.
It was. I think
they were real dramatic. You know what I mean?
Which makes total sense now that I think about it, because if I remember correctly, the daughter that asked for it.
Yes,
is the person referred to
right.
as doing the Dance of the Seven Veils in various.
Yeah, that's right. It's a story as well. Yeah.
The Dance of the Seven Veils.
Yeah.
So very Middle Eastern.
Yeah,
not white European. Okay. Yeah.
Dance of the Seven Veils. Dance of the Seven somethings.
Yes.
We have another track for you guys. This was the first hit of the album. This is Never Said. Yeah, I wanted to get the intro for that one.
Such a fire track.
Definitely a radio.
That was definitely the first track I heard. They were playing that on, I can't remember what the UW radio station was in the early 90s. I mean, it's WSUM now, but it was something different at the time.
Yeah. This was the, I think the demo. Oh, she released a radio-only single from her debut album, and it was the first released. But no physical single was released, but a music video was released, directed by Katie McGuire. So yeah, a lot of radio play on the college stations, though, for the most part. And it's pretty simple, pretty simple track, and it totally works for that point in the 90s too.
It's just a really good track.
Yeah, great track. Great track.
Well, it is one of the popular ones on the album. I will agree with that, but it really is just a solid track.
Yeah,
and it's very catchy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that first verse in it always stands out to me, and just something about the cadence that she sings it. It always just catches in my head. The way that the cadence of the "I'm clean as a whistle, baby," right?
Yeah, yeah. And it gets to that verse also gets to what we were saying earlier about someone that is has a lot of rumors being spread about her, and has to deal with these head on, and deal with the mob of dudes that are just accepting those rumors at face value.
Yeah, and it's got some intimations of that maybe somebody else is accusing her of spreading rumors, and she's saying it's not me.
I never said nothing.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
yeah. That could be it too. That could be some of it too.
That Dusty, I'm clean as a whistle baby part.
Yeah. I don't know what they told you. Don't even care. What about? All I know is I'm clean as a whistle baby. I didn't let the cat out. I think this is maybe, when I was first hearing this, I was thinking maybe it was like a meta commentary on the music scene and her talking out about the music scene, because I mean that is a little bit of what this album is about. But she definitely doesn't call out specific parties at any point. You know what I mean?
No.
So I feel like this is her kind of in a meta way saying like, I'm just talking about my experience, don't, get your undies in a bundle about this, So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a very meta song for the album.
Stop promoting Facebook.
Meta. No, Facebook. Why? And I guess it's supposed to pair with Tumbling Dice from Exile on Main Street. By the way, we're gonna cover this Exile on Main Street connection stuff more once we cover Exile on Main Street. I only realized like pretty far into the preparation
it's not
process.
a very popular album though.
Exile on Main Street? No, practically no one's heard it.
When has that ever been a problem for this
exiled.
podcast?
Yeah.
Dave?
But I had no idea that there was that connection until like 14 tracks into clipping this thing, and I was like, oh dang, I wasn't looking for that. So yeah, I promise though, once we get to Exile on Main Street, I'll have a more substantive connection between these two things. But this one connects to Tumbling Dice. Again, great single. Fits in the 90s real well. And for this next track, we have it's also by Lake Michigan. I want to mention the music video is filmed by Lake Michigan, and I like that a lot.
Oh yeah, it was in I mentioned like there's some park.
I'm not sure exactly, but it was just good to see Lake Michigan in a music video.
Good lake.
Yeah. Anyway, this next
great lake, really.
This next song is Soapstar Joe.
Heroes looking for some lonely billboard to grace. They say he sprung from the skull of Athena. Think about your own head and the headache he gave.
Look how weird this one is. It's a real departure.
It's just like the cover, it's just supposed to be just all around an oddball, in your face, raw album.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a pretty good track.
Yeah.
Man,
I really
her random older dudes.
I really like some of that
Soapstar
little
Joe.
like snare there in the background.
There's some good snare. Yeah, I like that. I like the feel, like the production of this one quite a bit. Yeah. And as you were saying, Dave, it's about an older gentleman that she is. Well, I think maybe multiple older gentlemen.
exactly.
That she's kind of putting into one
guy.
That's the long line of heroes line.
Yeah.
Goddamn heroes.
Just kind of we're looking for some lonely billboard to grace, is a real sarcastic line. I mean, especially also they say sprung from the skull of Athena is a very sarcastic line. But
well, do you know why?
Because she's the goddess of war.
Because she sprung from Zeus's head.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
I mean,
he had a huge head.
Yeah,
each
a
of
big
the
head.
lines is like some sort of reference to iconic heroes, right? Like there's that.
Oh,
Greek
but this is
reference,
the
but
skull
there's
of
also
Athena.
the rode in the back of a pickup, right? Think
Yeah.
back to the early Marlboro commercials, right? Pickup with the cowboys in the back.
Yeah. She's basically like explaining like an older guy that's got his stuff figured out or whatever. He's got his cool car. He's got his smoking jacket or something. I don't know.
Joe Camel.
I don't know what's cool for
God.
these older gentlemen.
It is the Marlboro Man.
It's pretty much the Marlboro Man. Yeah. Here's a good quote from Liz Phair. When I was in my 20s, I was always dating older men, and they would always pick me up in cars and take me to dinner. I always felt like I was always sitting in the interior of some dude's car on my way to or from dinner, just how weirdly generic it all felt. Like every Friday, Saturday night, someone was taking you out somewhere. I just had all these thoughts and feelings I never shared, and it kind of came out in my songwriting, and Soap Star Joe is the perfect example.
He's a representation of the scum that men are.
Oh, I like this last line. I'm kind of skewering the guy, but at the same time, I'm also lovingly aware of his plight in a weird way. So, yeah. I like it. It's a nice, like, just weird observation kind of track.
Representative track.
Yeah. And it sounds odd. It's got a really odd, like, dissonant kind of thing going on. Yeah.
It's like no real connection, just this.
Yeah. Just kind of droning almost. Yeah. And that is apparently connecting to Sweet Virginia. Oh. Okay. I see what's happening here. So this is like. So in this situation, Mick Jagger must be Soap Star Joe, and she's Sweet Virginia, right?
Right.
If this is following the Exile on Exile theory.
If you're taking the blueprints and following them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I like that. For the next one we got for you, after Soap Star Joe, we have Explain It to Me.
Never could explain them to me. Explain them to me.
I love it when she gets soft and raw like this.
A little Elliot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Makes me sad in a good way, Yeah.
What are these things I'm feeling?
What are these feelings?
Then you got that classic guitar in the back there, like electric guitar, but like the very soft, like
yeah,
the little twang.
Yeah. It's a good rhythm to it. This one is also one that connects quite a bit to the Exile on Main Street one, though. I think while we were listening to it this last time, you have the song Torn and Frayed on Exile on Main Street, which is about a kind of an old rundown musician that's seen better days. And then in this track you have it's a little less specific, but her story about the song sheds light on it. She says, I love the songwriter, and I think that's a perfect little jewel song. It does so very little. Some songs, when I write them, come out completely formed. I don't have to work on them and explain it to me and all that, and it was just sort of fell out of me. It's about a ruined rock hero and seeing one of your greatest figures at their weakest, I guess. So, I don't know if this is about a specific like musical artist in the Chicago area or just a fictitious one, but yeah, it's definitely a similar character as the one that's mentioned in the Rolling Stones song. So,
well, then you got Tell Him to Jump Higher, Jumping Jack Flash.
Yeah. Was that what he's saying in the other one? Jumping Jack Flash?
Is that one on Exile on Main Street? I don't even know.
Maybe she just saw Keith Richards on like a medium day and just thought he was at his weakest. It's like, nah, that's how I normally am.
Yeah. He was just hanging
Good
out.
day.
He was just hanging. He just wasn't moving a whole lot. It wasn't
Too many drugs that day.
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or maybe he was.
Not enough.
Yeah. Maybe
There
it
you
was
go.
in between.
Just
day.
having brunch at 5 p.m.
Yeah. But yeah. This feels very personal though. So I'm gonna assume that it's someone that they know. But this next track we have for you guys is a little track called Canary.
That's all. Send it up on fire, death before dawn. Send it up on fire, death before dawn.
Yeah, another slower one. Keeping it low key. These couple of tracks. Yeah, Dave, I don't think I've asked you about this. What was your connection to this album when it came out? You were a different age.
I
right?
did not hear when it came out.
Oh, you didn't hear when it came out. Okay.
This was actually a suggestion from Jay, like a couple of years back, sitting at
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You mentioned that.
Drakenberg's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, and you just ran like, "Hey, have you ever listened to this album?" I'm like, no. I believe you just told me I should because it's really good. I'm like,
you
all right.
have to.
You must.
It was one of those you have to situations.
This
I mean,
is
it's
the
not
way.
like we ever got in those conversations. That was
Not
the
once.
only one, right?
I still remember like a few days later, it popped it on. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like, this is really good. I think it was one like the random playlist in our group, I think a few months back or maybe more. I think I picked one of a track off this for it.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah. It's stuck. It's exactly what I enjoy, and like, damn.
Boy.
How I missed this? No idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed the.
It's a good one to throw on and sit down and think about your life, you know? Yeah.
Get some feels.
Yeah. All sorts
This is
of
what
feels.
you do when Obi-Wan tells you to go home and think about your life.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
Liz Phair, you
yes,
won't always be 10 years old.
This is what Darth Vader listens to in his little pod. He's listening to Liz Phair, Exile in Guyville, and thinking about Obi-Wan.
Great show.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to make up something about what this song's about, but I'm not going to. It's a beautiful song. I don't want to misrepresent it. But it's I like when she goes into this format. Although I like that it's not all this. I guess I'd probably get sick of it if it was all like this. But definitely makes you feel stuff when she gets into this mode. You know? Yeah. Oh, and it's okay. Here we go. It's I did write notes. I just remembered. I guess this song is kind of a discussion about being a young woman in the world and what that means. She says here, there's a period of time where you pretend to still be a little girl, but you're confronting all this bullshit in the world that is suddenly your new role, kind of like reviving Ophelia kind of moment. Which is a movie / book, feminist book that came out a year later, actually. But this is an interview from the 2000s, I think. So, that's probably part of the reason it's got such a somber kind of attitude. Because, canary in a coal mine maybe is what, going for.
Yeah, that's the first image that comes into mind for me.
Yeah.
Not just because I, listened to maybe too much Police in my
Yeah.
my fandom.
But yeah, it is definitely the first thing you think of when you're specifying canary. It's like, oh yeah, like where you make a canary find the exit. Is that what they do?
No, you just know when to leave.
Yeah,
They just okay. If they
Bird's dead, gotta go.
yeah.
When the canary stops singing, that means there was enough gas in the mine to kill it, and it's time for the people to get out before there's enough to kill them.
Yeah. Okay. So your fate is set, essentially.
The clock is ticking.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that, I guess. So this is even more somber and thoughtful. Again, almost mesmerizing. if you will.
You're sleeping with the canaries, if you know what I mean.
Yes. This next track.
Nabs.
This next track is mesmerizing.
Oh.
With all of the time in the world to spend it wild and unwise, I wanna be mesmerizing too. Mesmerizing too.
Can I just say how this like almost sounds like Nirvana? A little bit, like almost, you know?
Huh.
Yeah,
It's
the
like
same
the
kind of
structure.
timbre that in the voice.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't think of it before until you said that, but yeah, as soon as you said it, the
Well,
timbre
kind of
of
that,
your voice
like-
is very.
It's kind of that alternative thing where you're like, you're adding more of your feelings into your vocals. You're adding more of your own character into it rather than like trying to fit a style necessarily. I don't know. It's something that those alternative kids all did.
Hell yeah! I always love this track just because I gotta admit I'm a sucker for clapping, for clapping on a track.
Yeah,
part as part of the
Yeah, I agree. I
percussion.
also think it's one of the greatest things, especially if it's not a just sound effect plug-in or something.
Can I say a fun fact
You know what I mean?
about clapping on a track?
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah,
what's up?
I got a random fun fact about
Yeah,
clapping
yeah,
on
yeah.
a track. So, you know, there's an Elton John track like dun 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 dun, and like what the hell song is it?
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun,
Benny and the Jets.
dun,
Benny and the
dun,
Jets.
Benny and the Jets.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he said that when he recorded that, he recorded the claps and he recorded them off beat on purpose because he knows a British audience can't keep beat worth shit. That was a
That is
direct
pretty
quote from
entertaining.
him that I
Yeah.
saw. 'Cause I saw one of his. It was one
Yeah,
of the.
that is a hard
the
one to try to
behi- the
clap
album,
to. Yeah.
The album breakdowns from VH1.
Oh yeah, because he has a few parts in that where
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, yep.
it's like a little off.
They're like right off. And
Yeah.
he did that on purpose because he said that the British
that's-
audience can't keep rhythm worth shit.
That's fucking funny, dude.
Yep.
That's really cool. I don't know if we've covered that song yet, but we
I don't think we have.
But
But
that's
that's my funny clap
that's-
fact of the day.
fucking great.
Man, too bad it wasn't on Clapton.
Aha!
Yeah.
Zinger.
Yeah. We haven't done Clapton either. But this one's a nice jam though. I was gonna say though, before you mentioned Nirvana, this one feels the most Stonesy, Rolling Stones too. You know, they're like
Yeah.
"Pew, pew, pew, pew," and then you got
They do that
the
clapping thing.
you
a
got
lot, too.
the I think you have the tambourine shaking too. You know, they love doing that in the Stones. So yeah, I think this one's probably one of the most on the nose Stones representations. But yeah. Obviously she doesn't sing like Mick Jagger though. She's definitely not got the same vocal style as Jagger. But
Still probably the same swagger as Jagger.
she's got
She's got the moves like
the
Jagger.
moves like Jagger. Yes. Yeah. There's a whole song about it. I used to have a friend, actually, a friend of the show, Veronica, used to think that it said "move." I have to move my jacket.
Didn't she
Like I have
say
to
that on the show?
move. Oh, did she mention that on the show?
We had her on the show
We
for
probably-
the Sleep album.
Yeah. Sleep,
Yeah.
Jerusalem.
Coming back
Yeah,
again
yeah.
next week. God.
Oh, by the way, yeah, we're doing that again, guys. I know we already covered that album, but I'm breaking
Buckle
my
in for
rule.
round 2.
Breaking my rule for a really good guest next week. We'll tell you
You're
who
gonna
that
get
guest
much
is at the end of
better
the week
opinions
or at the
this
end of
time,
the
though.
episode.
So
But
it's gonna be a better episode. We might even.
it's
Oh, we can't erase the first one. We
no.
had to
The
find-
first one stays. First one
stays.
stays.
You're right. You're right.
But this is a different version of it.
Yeah.
This is technically a different version
Oh, you
of the Sleep
you
album.
almost have to call it side C because it's like you got a
Side-
different cast.
Side
D,
Sleep.
side sleep. Oh,
That doesn't make any sense.
oh, side S.
Side S. Yeah.
Because why the hell not?
Why the hell
Why
not?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. So I was gonna say though, we have kind of end of a relationship happening in this track. We got I found my hands in place, boy, after backing up as far as you could get. Don't you know nobody parts two rivers met. Don't you know I'm very happy. I promise I can read. You know me well, I'm even happier. And then what is it I was reading? Never mind. The toss. Never mind. This is a bad suggestion. It's got a lot of downvotes.
No one likes it at all.
I'm not even gonna mention it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good track. And yeah, that's right. I have a little bit of the outro. There was a part where like you could hear a little bit in the very, very outro of the song, so I like turned it way up. There's some dog sounds.
Yeah, I just noticed that for the first time tonight, actually listening to it.
All right, that sounds rough.
Yeah, I don't even think we heard it when we were doing our listen through because it is really, really low in the mix. So yeah, that's fun. Every time there is something like that in a song, I always love to like blow it up and be like, "What the fuck is happening there?"
What is that? Yeah.
Brad loves the pet soons.
Yeah, I love pet sounds. I'm a big fan of pet sounds.
We did that album,
and
like that, yeah.
Oh yeah. They can just add that on top of the
Pink
stack.
Floyd animals, all the weird clips of animals making noises.
Well, wasn't there an earlier album of Pink Floyd that had even more animal sounds? Because there was like the whole track that's just like dogs and howling and shit.
Metal had that.
Yeah, Metal.
It's the second to last track. It's like, just a bunch of dogs, like sort of like howling.
Just a bunch of dogs howling.
Why not?
Yeah. Why not?
Sounds, just vibrations.
Vicious, baby.
Well, I mean, when you're as high as they were, that probably sounded like a great idea at the time.
Yeah. A lot of good ideas happening with those guys at the time.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree, honestly.
Yeah.
No bad ideas.
No bad ideas at all.
Put them all there.
But yeah, I'm
got
sure every
All
like
the
producer is just like, you're bringing how many dogs in here for what?
Trust us, they're gonna blow your mind.
Yeah. I always think about that in that movie of Brian Wilson, like him bringing in animals, but just the people being like, oh my god, what is happening? What is my life? But yeah, we got one more track for you guys before we go on a little break here. This track is called "Fucking Run,"
which we'll do after this break.
Which we are going to do after this break, and then we'll come back.
The running part.
Together though.
Had a lot of work to do, but I heard the rest in your head. And almost immediately I felt sorry, 'cause I didn't think this would happen again. No matter what I could do or say, just that I didn't think this would happen again. With or without my best intentions.
Oh my god, that one hits.
Absolutely love this song.
Yeah,
Liz
It's
Phair
probably
really.
my, go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
you go ahead.
It's probably my favorite song on the record, honestly.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
something about it.
Yeah.
I love the lyrics and the just structure of the song, the whole 9 yards. Just
Her
think
voice
it's
is amazing too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Well, you know, again, on top of that, I was gonna say Liz Phair really is just like pioneering that '90s sound before it was a sound. You know,
Mhm.
she's just right there at the forefront with all that, with the way she's singing,
Well, like indie rock.
how she's exactly
Like
for sure.
indie rock
Yeah.
in the 2000s definitely had some of these vibes.
Yeah, you're
here and
totally
there.
right.
Yeah. Just without the alternative bent to it.
Shit, I didn't
You know?
even know she was this important. Jeep.
Well, I hear her name all the time. You know, like I've.
Well, that's because
You know.
she's saying it's only, you know, she got real big with I'm only happy when it rains.
Oh, that is
So that's like
also
her
Liz
big-
Phair.
That's her
Duh.
big
Okay.
hit. You know, so everybody's listening.
You've
to
been
that.
mentioning that song tonight, and
Yeah,
I've
yeah, that's
not.
why.
I've not made
That's-
the connection at all.
That's
Okay.
her big
Okay.
one. Everyone's
I thought
listening
that was
to that.
garbage for some reason, but
No, am I wrong? I might be wrong.
I'm only happy
Winners?
when it
No, I think
rains.
that's garbage.
Google, tell
Is that
me
garbage?
the
I thought
truth.
that was her. Okay, never mind. I'm wrong.
Okay. All right.
Similar sound, though. I mean, you're right.
We've corrected ourselves. Brad from the future doesn't have to interject and make a cut.
Or Brad can
Brad
call.
from the future always cracks
Brad can call Hit Nerd and tell us.
I'm glad that someone appreciates.
Well, there we
this.
go.
Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about. Garbage came out in '98. Sounded like Liz Phair from this album.
Well, yeah.
I was just going to say that.
Coming off of this,
I corrected myself and
it's always
myself into the future. There we go.
Yeah. This definitely big influential sound for the 90s. But I just want to talk about this lyric that was in this part because it just is so, I don't know, it hits really hard. What was it? I woke up alarmed. I didn't know where I was at first, just that I woke up in your arms, and I almost immediately I felt sorry because I didn't think this would happen again, no matter what I would do or say. I didn't think this would happen again. Sorry. And then verse 2, you said you had a lot of work to do, but I heard the rest in your head. And I almost immediately felt sorry because I didn't think this would happen again.
Yeah, basically, that was nice, but get out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And just like, well, I think it's also her maybe realizing, just realizing like far ahead of time than this guy that like it's over, Like, I don't think the guy necessarily is thinking it's over, but she knows that the passion is gone, and she knows that, he's already over her and thinking about the next conquest.
Next night out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the refrain, especially, like the refrain in the chorus, I feel like she kind of is pretty on the nose with this one, just out and out says what it's about, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
She's had so many, like, one-night stands or relationships that start off, and when they get serious, she runs. And the worst part about it is she doesn't want to run, right? That whole part in there where she's like, I want a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Right? So it's this whole thing. She's looking for
all that stupid old shit.
Yeah,
like
looking
letters
for a
and
boyfriend,
sodas.
but keeps getting freaked out and running away.
Yeah.
And ending up back with this guy that's no good, right? Just uses her.
Yeah. Well, I was also getting the feeling that this was like maybe one that was like turning into a real relationship, but then like she realizes
for her.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe the titles aren't there, but it's starting to feel like something, and like all of a sudden like she realizes like they're not looking for that.
That he's not there for that.
He's not there to be a boyfriend.
Thanks, but get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Yep. And and then oh my god, the fucking line here where really fucking she's just bearing it all. Like, I can feel it in my bones. I'm gonna spend another year alone. It's fucking run. Even when I was 17, fucking run. Even when I was 12. So, just bringing attention to just, the complicated nature of sexuality with, young people going through puberty age, like sometimes you experience it younger than others, she's laying that on the table for people to, either parse out or talk about,
or relate to something,
or relate to, yeah, exactly. So, just a really brave thing to put into a track, I think, and shocking as well. It's
a shocking thing to name the track, just fucking run,
especially
for a woman. That's awesome.
Yeah. I like that this is like I love Alanis Morrisette, but I love how non-commercial this is. It feels, I know that she gets some like commercial success, but I mean, it definitely feels like with Alanis Morrisette, it's more like she's walking the some of the industry lines more.
Oh yeah, and there's definitely a different feel. Like once she got successful and like had a label interested, and they obviously put some demands on how she wrote her music. Like the first three records kind of have the same feel.
Yeah.
And then they become a little more polished. And I've heard people like talk about this before, like as a negative thing. And I'm pretty sure I've read in interviews that she doesn't view it that way. That to her it was just part of like how an artist changes, right? But she's kind of gotten back to a similar feel in the last album or two she put out. Yeah.
Well, like, and that's the thing. It's like it's perfectly fine for when you get more money, you get more access to bigger tools and stuff. It sounds more polished.
Time goes on, your problem changes. Like, not gonna be like a 17, like 19-year-old like metal punk kid like scream about the same shit when you're like 35, 40. Like, no, well.
And if you do, then it could come across as
weird,
and fake. And the last thing you want to be is an old guy trying to be fake.
To change, like it can be a good thing depending on like the style, but I feel like some bands don't need to change as much because I mean, Iron Maiden, for fuck's sake, like you can write the same shit and it still sounds awesome.
Or Social Distortion.
Where
you can recognize the Social Distortion song the second you hear it. They all sound the same, but in my opinion, they're all great.
Yeah, there's bands like that. Yeah, they just have it,
and then you have bands where every album's different and it's fantastic, like Tom Waits.
King
where
Gizzard.
That's part of his strength is how he changes so much.
Yeah.
Bowie just non-stop, just changing and changing and changing.
Crimson.
Right.
Yeah.
Prince, Madonna.
Yeah. It's that Miles Davis approach. You're always constantly
You always
changing.
have to be moving on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Gotta get ahead of that curve.
Because we have a break coming and we're about to go right into it right now.
We're getting ahead of that
That's what Dave was
curve.
getting into. Yeah. We are going to take a quick break and then we will be right back for Girls.
Not
Track
the
11.
Motley Crue song.
Yeah. We'll be right back.
What? I'm out.
This is Reese
And this is Nate.
from Side B.
And you're listening to the Album Concept Hour.
I did not know she was part of Motley Crue.
Yeah, no. I just thought we'd cold open with the following track, Girls, and that's not what I was expecting at all.
Boy, that's a little more raunchy than what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And you got the whole crew there,
really capturing that sound though, for sure.
So it's a whole motley of things.
A whole motley of crews. Yeah. So you can tell she's getting inspiration from all sorts of places, Liz Phair. I think she does have a different version of it. Like I think it's maybe called the girly version.
I did see that she re-released this album as like a girly version.
Yeah. Jokes aside, there is a girly version of some of these songs. But this is Liz Phair's song, Girls.
That if I wanna leave, you better let me go, because I take full advantage of every man I meet.
Wow. Atta girl.
Line. Yeah.
Way to reverse the narrative. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is almost leaning into the narrative that she's struggling with, I think. Because like, we were talking earlier about how she was dealing with like rumors and stuff within the music community, maybe. And I think this kind of is her like acting like the horrible person that some people may think that she is. You know what I mean? Or portray her to be, perhaps. Because she's saying right here, because I take full advantage of every man I meet. It's like, I mean, there's some guys out there that might not know that she's being sarcastic and this is a joke.
Even soap opera Joe.
Yeah, even soap opera. Yeah, she was clearly taking full advantage of him. It's really the men in her life that are the victims here.
Clearly.
But
no. Please stop taking advantage of me, Liz Phair.
No, stop.
Oh, stop, please.
Can we say I really got some Meg Ryan vibes, like 90s Meg Ryan vibes when I was seeing Liz Phair, the music videos for her. I was like, you look kind of like a younger Meg Ryan.
Yeah, they have a similar look.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And also a little bit like that girl in Clueless. I always forget her name.
Silverstone or
Yeah.
Silverstone.
Alicia
Yeah.
Silverstone,
Yeah. Trio of 90s blonde ladies, you know.
It all came after this song. Wonder where they got some of their inspiration from.
Yeah,
huh?
right. They all saw Liz Phair and they're like, that's who I want to be.
That's who I need to be.
Then we got late stage Meg Ryan.
Yeah, maybe not talk about that, huh?
After the divorce with what's his name?
Did they get divorced?
She was
It was one of the Quades, right?
Yeah. The elder
One
Quaid.
of the Quaid.
Randy.
She was married to Randy Quaid.
No, not Randy. Couldn't. No.
No, Dennis. Sorry.
No. Of course not Randy Quaid, but no, Dennis Quaid.
All right.
Man, big slam
all
on
right.
Randy Quaid out of nowhere.
That makes sense.
Well, he's the one that did that vacation.
Yeah.
I'm glad he.
Extra. Yeah. No, he did a really.
He was in, come on, he
really
was in
bad
Independence Day.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
Merry
true.
Christmas.
And
Sheriff's
apparently
Fall.
he was in the next one too. Did he survive that? Did
Yeah.
I hear? Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Apparently he was
Yeah.
in a boat that got levitated and moves. It got weird.
It's a whole thing.
Okay.
It got weird.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna watch it. It's fine.
It's okay. No
No
one needs to watch Vegas Vacation.
At least one
Anyway.
time.
Oh yeah, cousin Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only
That's Randy
know what
Quaid.
I've seen in the Red Letter Media
He
breakdown.
won
of
an
that.
Academy Award.
They were.
somehow.
I have never. I don't know if
Before
I've ever
this.
seen them so mad at a movie. Like they were legitimately like
Which movie?
Which one?
the Eddie's Vacation movie. Like
Oh my
it's just.
God.
It's such a low level of.
So bad.
It's straight to video.
Yeah. It's bad.
It's
But
Eddie should not have gotten his own movie.
I love her bad movies, but I knew enough to stay the hell away from that thing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it existed.
There you
Till
go.
just now.
I saw
That's
a picture
good.
of the artwork.
Don't
I'm like, nope, that's a
pretend.
solid no on me.
Pretend like you never knew it existed.
Yeah, I think it will. I think that's wise.
Yeah. Oh, were you wanting to move on to another subject?
Yeah. What's
Oh yeah, we do have another song here. This is a divorce song. Is track 12 that we have for you guys.
Thank you, Willie.
For the rest of my life, just to prove I was right, that it's harder to be friends than lovers, and you shouldn't try to mix the two, 'cause if you do it and you're still unhappy, then you know that the problem is you. And it's true that I stole your lighter.
I love that it's followed by, and it's true that I stole your lighter.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that like second verse is from a real fight she had. I mean, it has to be. This is too specific.
Yeah.
I stole your lighter. It's true that I lost the map.
Yeah.
It's like 1 week specific, like
Man.
Bare Naked Ladies 1 week specific. Yeah.
I love
Fair.
Yeah.
Aha, Liz Phair.
Uh-huh.
I love
And
God damn
that's
it.
fine.
I love that you got your favorite lyrics from the song though, Brad.
Well, yeah. Well,
Like,
this line in particular
Yeah.
is just
It does
Yeah.
hit hard once you listen to
Yeah,
it, once you
it's-
know what it's saying.
just it's harder to be friends than lovers, and you shouldn't try to mix the two, because if you do it and you're still unhappy, you know the problem is you.
Yeah,
And that's a
this-
fucking just a hard
Pill.
hard pill to swallow.
It's a punch right in the feels, right?
It's just so jagged.
Like
I mean,
It's a
this
little
whole
jagged
song
little
is-
pill, huh?
a little bit, yeah, and I think if you've been in multiple relationships through the years, you've maybe experienced some of this feeling. It's like, oh, I need to work on myself actually before this is going to work. Interesting.
It's very true. people. Mental
Yeah.
health is very important.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That's your PSA for the day.
well, because some people have the kind of toxic idea that your partner is supposed to fix you and you're supposed to fix them. Like you're two broken and people, and you're supposed to fix each other. But sometimes it's better to fix yourself first and then try to see what dating's like. Yeah.
It's like an airplane. If the air mask goes down, you got to put it on yourself first before you can help anyone else.
Exactly.
Oh, Dave, that's so poignant.
It is.
Yeah.
I've seen that a few times.
Yeah.
This song just always like, I mean, she just doesn't stop punching. It's one of those, stop, it's already dead.
And you're down, you're just still
Like
getting
the
hit.
beginning of verse 3, you put in my hands a loaded gun and then told me not to fire it. And the very next verse, the license said you stick around till I'm dead, but you're tired of looking at my face. I guess I already am. Just like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're all like roundhouses where she's coming from the ground and just bam, right?
Yeah.
In your face.
Yep.
Ah, man. There's a lot. This one does have a lot. I feel like tracks like 10 through 12 are just truth bombs, man.
Yeah.
I definitely felt stuff before track 10, but track 10 was where it really just started to hit me. Like hard.
Again, also in the early 90s, if you lost a map or someone else's map, man, you're fucked because you're lost.
Yeah, no, that's legit. Yeah.
You can't whip out your phone.
Yeah. You have to look at the sun to just figure out which direction it's
figure
coming.
out where Venus is.
Yeah. You had to look at the sun and the stars and orient yourself.
I mean, this even before MapQuest.
Oh, my
It was
God.
MapQuest.
Freaking MapQuest, dude. You remember printing
Man.
that shit out?
Oh my God.
Dude,
Yeah.
if you got off that by like a road or two,
I
like
know,
you're fucked.
you
Like,
were
wait.
so mad.
Oh, well, they always left one like fun little just completely false direction in there.
Oh,
You know what I mean? There was always one.
Just fuck you.
You had to figure out which one was false. It was up to
And
you.
then you had to cross it off and tell all of your friends.
Yeah. And then you kept that map quest
Until it was old,
yeah.
crinkled, and you had to throw it out.
We sound ancient. We
It also
sound
sounds like
ancient right now.
it also sounds like an old like
What's
Apple II GS
MapQuest?
game.
Wait, what?
It sounds like an old Apple II GS game. MapQuest.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Unfold
Now
your
that
little
makes
map.
it sound old. All the old Hero Quest and Space Quest and all that stuff.
Listen, man.
Uh-huh.
Listen, man, these kids out here, they think they be winning their games, but they ain't gone down no Oregon Trail.
No.
That's right. They
Yeah.
never played no Curse of Monkey Island.
Yeah, no. It's dangerous out there in those games.
That has been our vintage game corner.
Yeah. I feel like it all fits though
fun.
with the period we're talking about. This is 93, so this is a simpler time, guys. This is
No social media.
no social media. Maps are
Doing shit for
something you
fun.
care about,
They're precious.
They're precious.
Make sure you
this
fold
next-
them right, though.
Oh, God help you if you don't fold them right. But this next song, the next two tracks we have for you, actually, I feel like these two tracks really go together because they're both kind of weird, expansive, jammy things. But this next track is Shatter after the divorce song.
I don't know if I could drive a car fast enough to get to where you are.
Such a great song for headphones. Jesus. Like, it's
God
just
damn.
in this ball of, it's
Yeah.
the sphere of sound.
Yeah.
So stoic. It's a
Yeah.
wall of sound almost. Thank you.
I was thinking like it gave me a little bit of Smashing
Phil
Pumpkins
Spector?
vibe
Yeah.
too. A few times on the album, like the production reminds me a bit of Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, you could, and you really could put Billy in
Yeah,
there too,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it would sound just about the same kind of vibe.
I hope that there's a Liz Phair like Smashing Pumpkins remix. or
Well, they were
something
about
like
the same time.
that.
They were coming up at the same time, so that would
again,
make sense.
it's that
That
alternative
musical sound.
Well, that alternative stuff just it seeped into everything. I think it was just it was like an attitude
it
towards
was a beautiful
music
poison.
more than a sound.
Gish was like 92,
Oh,
93.
Gish.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So
Yes,
they
it
were
was,
starting to
actually.
they had some of this kind of sounds going on. Yeah.
Siamese about 94,
Yep.
93, 94.
Yeah, it went Gish,
Yeah.
Siamese,
Oh, yeah.
and then the one we covered.
Melancholy?
Infinite Sadness.
Melancholy and
Yeah,
Infinite Sadness.
yeah,
I wanted to
Melancholy,
say
Infinite
I wanted to
Sadness.
say Eternal Sunshine of the
Thank you,
Spotless
Dave.
Mind,
My brain was not.
but it's Melancholy.
Not a Jim Carrey joint.
It is not a Jim
No.
Carrey joint, no.
No.
But yeah, no, definitely feeling a lot of the same feelings, a lot of the same vibes. There's just like a certain like rawness that comes with this era of music that everyone's just sharing details about themselves that maybe were missing from a lot of music before that.
Yeah,
at the moment.
yeah, definitely. And this song, for some reason, this specific track always reminds me of Lucinda Williams.
Okay.
If you're familiar with her.
I'm
You know
not.
you hear what I'm saying, Dave?
Is it Wendy O? Is that?
No,
Oh, wait,
Lucinda
no, right.
Williams, like folk and Americana.
I got you.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard her yet.
She's pretty amazing.
Okay.
I've seen her in concert a couple times.
Okay. Yeah. Is that from the 70s or 80s?
No, like her first album came out. Well, the album that like actually had a little bit of success, I want to say it was 95.
Oh, okay. So it's a contemporary with
she's
Liz
contemporary
Phair.
for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Car Wheels on a Gravel Road was the album that first did really well, and it was 98.
Mm-hmm.
And I suggest checking that out for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of other people that have maybe been inspired by the sound, Speedy Ortiz is a band that I want to recommend to anyone that is a Liz Phair fan, at least. That if you like this album, Speedy Ortiz is definitely inspired by this sound, but a little more edge to it, you know, and a tighter sound, not as expansive as this. But yeah, definitely. Cool. I had no idea that Liz Phair was this. You know, I knew Liz Phair as a name, but I didn't know that Liz Phair was this talented and so indie. The indie thing is what really blew me away. I thought when I got into this album, it was going to be like polished production, like start to finish. I wasn't expecting lo-fi. I wasn't expecting real indie. Like I was expecting some, you know, popular version of that. But this really stands on its own.
Since it's not like, you know, a major label or later on down the line when you know she
Matador,
got signed, but you have this
yeah.
very introduction and it works perfectly. You said lo-fi, like this really like not polished, just raw, gritty, just
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, she got it produced herself, right? Like she did.
Yeah, it was her and Brad Wood were the producers on this. Yeah. And
that's always really cool when you get like a real producer and then the artist is just kind of there for it, you know, and they're helping too, but like you know, it's good that they're getting their flavor in.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like if you as an artist take more of the producer role, then like, you know, you're shaping, you know, you're taking sound. Yeah, you're taking a part of shaping even more of your sound, I think,
or just what you want your vision to be the final product. You don't want to,
because it probably, you know, in earlier times with a producer, you kind of had to just trust them because it was just, you know, the workflow or whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's no reason you can't
everything
be part of producer
used
nowadays.
to be more factory like.
Yeah. It's like the producer is doing wizardry that I don't fully understand.
The black magic.
But yeah. Now
you were the singer.
They got
or
plugins.
You were the violinist.
You know. Yeah. But really great. You know, raw song again, and then for the next track we have the track Flower. So here's Flower.
To be your blowjob queen, you're probably shy and introspective. That's not part of my objective. I just want your fresh young Jimmy, jamming, slamming, ramming in me. Every time I see your face, I think of things unpure, unchaste.
Okay, I don't know why. I don't know why I said this was a long jam.
Blowjob.
Well, I mean, there's not really a chaste spot to pick on this song.
It's true.
Yeah. But no, this isn't an expansive jam, as I was saying before. This is her. Well, it is kind of expansive though. It's got a real big sound to it. I think it's got a weird dissonance going.
Not like a delay, but there's like something that's just like
Yeah, they're doing something to that guitar that's making
trippy.
it sound odd. Yeah. So this one is one of the best, I think, responses to Exile on Main Street. This one is from a response to Let It Loose, which is the Rolling Stones song. Liz Phair said, he, as in
Jagger.
Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
Mick Jagger said, was saying, "Let it loose, stop being an uptight girl from the suburbs." And I'm like, really? Okay, here you go. Here's what's in there. And so because of that, it's just this like super like overly sexual song. She's saying, "I want to fuck you like a dog. I'll fuck you and your minions too." Like, she's saying all of the things that like maybe a rock star wants to hear, or a young man wants to hear from a prospective sexual partner. You know what I mean? She's really, really leaning into it.
Yeah, and I think there's also definitely some flavor of like this is what is going on in a lot of women's heads that they're not supposed to say out loud, right?
Well, that too, yeah, and being able to express that.
Because we have that weird double standard in our culture where guys are supposed to be horny and women aren't.
Yep, exactly.
I wish we could all just be horny together. God.
Yeah, can we just? Well, and like, honestly, I feel like
It should be like a magnet for the back of your truck.
Well, I feel like the gig is kind of up with the internet. You know, like we've seen the Pornhub search results for countries and data. Everyone's watching it, so
Everyone.
like we don't have to be all weird about it anymore.
No,
guys.
seriously.
Right.
But
I saw.
we are in a really regressive state with the overturning of Roe versus Wade and puritanical bullshit. So we're definitely not there. So it's still a problem.
No, dude, I saw an interview with Mia Khalifa where like she was like talking about visiting the Middle East, and she was like, "Yeah, I had to protect myself, but these people are watching me the most."
Yeah,
She was literally like in the thing. She was like, "These are my biggest fans that I'm seeing when I'm in America. And I come to the Middle East, and I just get stoned and shamed."
Well,
for
that's
being
the old
in porn.
double. That's the old age-old double
It's like,
standard
what
of
in
of
the world?
Yeah. Just
Jesus Christ, the world.
Yeah. So yeah, this is just a small touching on that kind of double standard in a real sassy way. It's cool, and I love that it's called Flower too. It's a very unassuming title for what she gets into. You know?
I love that too. It's just that thing. You see the title of it, you're like, "Oh, I bet this is a very sweet song."
Yeah.
You know, like you can see like the old woman. Oh, a song called Flower. I think.
Oh, right. Oh my God, I would love to have had my grandmother hear this before she passed, just to see the look on her face, the slow realization. But
I fucked up by choosing this song.
it's like, okay, you're not choosing anymore, Brad. But yeah, so really fun one. Just look at the lyrics if you just want to giggle.
Yeah.
But this next track we have for you guys is Johnny Sunshine, track 15. Yeah, that one's got a big sound too.
Yeah.
Different sound though.
"Do You Left Me Nothing" part definitely reminds me of the Stones.
Mm-hmm.
Like that part, where she's got that part going on where she's singing two different lines at the same time, two different tracks at the same time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stops and goes to
Yeah.
"You leave me nothing," and for some reason that reminds me like it's very a certain era of the Rolling Stones chorus.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah. Well, and I think that some of the other parts of the song too follow like that. Like I could see the Stones doing something like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think this one definitely has a real Stonesy kind of vibe to it. Also, some of her favorite playing by Brad Wood. She really apparently really enjoys this one. It's a loop, but he makes it work, and adds his jazz flavor into it. I think Brad Wood is a jazz artist. I think that's the connection there that they made, because they were in school for entertainment, I guess. But yeah.
There was some weird crossover at the time too, where a lot of like jazz artists were experimenting with other types of music. Like this is about the time Tool started, right?
Oh yeah,
Tool.
Where they were all professional jazz musicians and made a heavy metal album.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a really important like jazz musicians are always, I think, there. You know what I mean? Like they're there, like when they get sick of jazz, they're like, I wanna like actually like do something people care about, you know?
Hey, Smashing Pumpkins reference again. That was the drummer. He was originally like a jazz trained drummer.
Yeah, and I've known those jazz guys. Like it's hard to try to like keep doing just legitimate jazz and like paying the bills.
But jazz also kind of like teaches you.
But yeah, it's one of the best teachers. Yeah. Oh my god,
to like do just about
jazz
anything.
students are just fucking on a next level when it comes to songwriting. You know,
most of the best like musicians I know that had college educations in music, what they majored in specifically would be like jazz guitar, jazz drum, jazz, right? Mm-hmm.
Really important subset of musicians, and
it was the birth of cool.
I like to see him do the jazz too.
Yeah, it was, Dave. It was.
It was the rebirth of cool, right? Because that was the rebirth of cool is a compilation album that has a bunch of early '90s jazz influenced hip hop. I have it's one of my records that I have. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to check that out for sure.
Yeah, it's a really good set of songs.
Probably got you can probably get some Tribe in there.
Yeah, Tribe's the
for sure. I think that's who maybe organized put together. Yeah. Really great compilation. Yeah. But Johnny Sunshine though.
Oh yeah, this song.
Yeah. I think this is another like maybe a continuation of that breakup from before. I don't know. I'm just connecting pieces. But it seems like there was at least one significant relationship that's being talked about in the album, whereas some of them are more
day to day.
Yeah. One night or one date experiences. But
really talking about
every now and again, it's like she's talking about someone that maybe she was like almost engaged to or something, you know?
And this sounds like it really wrecked her. Johnny Sunshine really wrecked her. You know?
Yeah, he left her nothing.
He left her with nothing, and he dumped in the truck with the rest of the cattle feed.
Man, he took the map this time.
He took the map
and the lighter.
He took the map and the lighter.
Yeah.
Oh
it's great. They're mine first.
It was him all along.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she never did. She never lost either of those things. It was always just him. Yeah, got to be the same guy from
Johnny
that track. Yeah. From the Divorce Song or Fucking Run. I can't remember.
Divorce Song. Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Yeah. But yeah, I love that she uses Johnny and Joe when she's just talking about dudes. So she's just like, she's being vague as possible. She's just creating the archetype of amalgamation of experiences. Yeah. This next track we have for you guys is track 16. And this is kind of getting into some of what you were talking about earlier, Jay, with possible like fear of commitment or fear of a good thing, maybe. This is Gunshy.
3 count delay. I may need a little push. Take out the garbage on Tuesday.
Yeah, real bare bones one. Yeah. Kind of similar to Carrie, you know, or Canary. Sorry, Canary. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's doing that. Got that thing going on where the guitar is kind of playing around the beat
Oh,
instead
yeah.
of with it.
Yeah. That happens a few times in this album. Yeah, where there's just two different things going on, you know,
Right.
and they blend it, which is dope. Yeah, so this one, I'm just going to read the description from Liz Phair for this song. Gun shy, I connect to Canary because it's more of a true confession, diary entry singing. There's no pretense or bravado. It's really saying, I don't know if I'm cut out to do what it seems to be that society wants women to do. It's the little things, the little habits that I can't handle. It's the fear of being married and the fear of being in that role. It's a confession as opposed to the other songs that are proclaiming loudly. So,
Yeah, I definitely get that from the lyrics. I mean, it very much has that whole, you know, the the car 2.5 kids in the house isn't for me, or I don't think it is, right?
Yeah. That like just yeah, especially, you know, back then, like we've challenged it a lot more, I guess, at this point. But like, you know, back then the prevailing thing was still pretty much the nuclear family kind of setup, you know. Yeah, that's something that I've always personally had the same kind of similar kind of fear of getting in a you know, kind of a loop of some kind, you know, where as what was it that on that one song, I don't want to sit across from you wishing I could leave, fucking why am I not thinking of the band? Short skirt, long jacket.
Oh, Cake.
Cake.
Oh,
Cake.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to sit across from you wishing I forgot the
What
line.
song?
I don't know.
Anyways,
If you guys aren't getting it, then it's not going to be got.
Let's
But
not get too sidetracked.
yeah, it's the same kind of similar kind of fear of that nuclear family, nuclear situation where it's just like you fall into roles of husband and wife, and then you give each other fun nicknames, and you do the same thing, and it's, you know.
Well, it's Taco Tuesday. We can't have anything else except for Taco.
I know,
It's Taco
exactly. That's exactly what she's afraid of. She's afraid of Taco Tuesday, and she's being, and again, she's being raw and real about it, because there's plenty of other songs here where, you know, a guy or multiple guys have wronged her, and she's expressing that. But this one is more her talking about her own insecurities and her own faults.
And again, showing her like her influences on her shirt sleeve, right? Because she's got the line in there about the send $3 to the comic book and get a house, a car, and a wife.
Right?
Oh,
yeah.
And like,
That's pretty old fashioned, huh?
yeah,
Well,
for those of us who grew up in the 80s reading comic books, right?
I was
always
going to
had
say,
that, like,
that's like, I've read a lot of 70s, 80s comics, man.
yeah, send $3 for the book that'll make you look like Jack LaLanne, or you know, send $3 to be a
X-ray
ninja,
specs.
What
right?
was
Send
the
$3
one?
for the X-ray specs?
What was the one with like the strong arms? Like you send like a couple.
Yeah,
bucks
it was
for,
one of
like-
those like stretcher things.
Yeah, Stretch Armstrong. Yeah.
Well,
Or
those
just
are
Arnold
great.
Schwarzenegger comes to your house and just punches you.
yeah.
And then it told you your cartoon schedule too, like Channel 15 and Channel 27.
Well, yeah,
what
these are
cartoons
like
they were gonna have.
like what we're talking about is like almost the equivalent of targeted ads, I guess.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
It was so cool.
you're reading superhero comics or whatever, so it's like, oh, you're probably interested in getting strong and like
farm?
these
I want an ant
superheroes.
farm.
Yeah.
You want to be like He-Man?
One of the things about it, though, is almost everything in those ads, the kids reading them know they're bullshit.
Yeah.
But the average kid buying a comic book has $2 to send in just to see what weirdness gets mailed back to him, right?
Exactly. It used to be a real big thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love.
It was like the Amazon of the day.
Stan's soapbox was great for that.
Yeah. But yeah, you can probably hear about it in a lot of the like Marvel documentaries.
We should
they
do
mentioned some of those interactions.
Actually, Stranded Panda, if you want to listen.
Yeah.
to Marvel
Stranded
stuff.
Panda's got some Marvel stuff going on all the ways. Yeah. Great track though. Gun Shy. And we got two more tracks for you though. This next track is kind of similar to Soapstar Joe. It's Stratford On Guy.
The earth looked like it was lit from within, like a poorly assembled electrical ball is moved out of the farmlands into the grid. The plan of a city was all that you said.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I might be wrong about the Stratford On Guy being similar to the Joe guy. I might got my wires crossed. This is the song about her plane trip. Like literally, like she's this is like her talking about like coming down into Chicago during like a sunset type situation. Which, you know, if you're from the Midwest, you've probably experienced this, you know. I found this song super relatable because of that, because I've flown into O'Hare plenty of times, you know, and yeah, she's just kind of detailing her time, just thinking about things on the way back from maybe a tour. I like that this line that we had in the clip. The earth looked like it was lit from within, like a poorly assembled electrical ball, as we moved out from the farmlands into the grid. A plan of the city was all that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
That is how I feel every time I'm on a plane. Like when you're looking down and you see all the grids of all the farms and stuff, and then you get closer and closer to the city, and things get closer and closer together, and like. Yeah, it's one of the most fascinating things to do when flying is you just stare at the ground, man.
And there's a little bit of this miraculous thing is happening, and everybody in this giant metal tube with me is really bored.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all equally uncomfortable with this scenario, but we're doing it anyway because it's convenient.
Especially with that one baby just crying nonstop.
Oh yeah, that fucking baby.
That damn baby.
You know, I heard a story on the Action Boys. One of them, they're flying from LA all the time. There's some guys from LA. But yeah, Ben Rogers was flying and he heard a baby crying, and he looks back and it was like one of the guys from the Monkees. Like straight up one of the guys that's in the band the Monkees, who was just like making funny noises at his like partner or whatever.
When was this? Because there's only one of them still alive.
Oh, well, it would have to be that one, I think, because this. Well, I guess he didn't specify when this occurred, though. It was just a random story he shared, so it could have been an earlier time.
Mickey's the last one.
Yeah,
what?
Mickey Dolenz is the only one still alive. Nesmith only died like 2 years ago, so
yeah,
you know.
Oh, okay. Well, I think the episode I was listening to came out in like 2019 or something.
Yeah,
so
it probably could have been Nesmith.
Possible.
Then.
But yeah, Action Boys. I'm going to plug it later. I actually have it written down. Yeah.
I've always tried to figure out how the name of this song relates to the song itself, because to me it's a reference to like the city, the neighborhood or city that got absorbed into London where Shakespeare's theater was.
Okay. I have a quote here from Rolling Stone that might shed some light. First of all, not a day goes by that someone doesn't tell me that they booked 27D on their plane and had the same experience. But she says, when I lived in England as a young 7-year-old, and we went to Stratford upon Avon to visit where Shakespeare lived, the name where the name came from, the whole pretentiousness of the guy scene that Urge Overkill dubbed Guyville. Wait, hold on. The whole pretentiousness of the guy scene that Urge Overkill dubbed Guyville, and we all ended up calling Guyville. That preciousness of it was really important to the tastemakers who lived there. I wanted to give it that kind of pretentious name, like in a British accent, Stratford on Guy.
Stratford on Avon.
Stratford on Guy, maybe. I don't know. They felt like they were the arbiters of cool, and Stratford on Guy is me waking up as I travel out of there and just getting out of that neighborhood, and it just falls off of you. So okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know she was she had some time in England, so that's fun. So this one's great because it's like it's more of just a personal anecdote, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which this one in particular feels like a Speedy Ortiz song. Like I think that if you listen to this and you listen to a whole album of Speedy Ortiz, you'd be like, oh, it's all based on this sound. Yeah, and then she was. I just want to mention one more thing. She was pretending she was in a Galaxy 500 video, which is a groundbreaking dream pop and slowcore act consisting of Dean Warham and Naomi Yang and Damon Krukowski from 1987. So a smaller band that she was apparently really into. But yeah, we got one more track for you guys, though. This last track, I've actually chosen a section with no lyrics for this one because they get into a really nice jam after that. So this is Strange Loop. Yeah. I really enjoyed that jam session at the very, very end.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It reminds me just a slightly more polished, like Velvet Underground, like this really like.
Ooh,
Ooh,
that's a good comparison.
Like when they're like, you know, like right in the middle of like a 14-minute song, you're like, what's happening right now? Like, oh, that's when the drugs are kicking in. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think that it seems like they just needed something maybe to end the record. Because she says here it's a great way to end the record to have it fall apart at the end. This is where the great outro where we're all just jamming because it's been a long journey. It's been 18 songs. We're just kind of whizzing through this improvised end section. And then I just had the idea that we just have the instruments just fall apart at the end of the whole cycle. And I've always been very proud of that. I'm so glad there's so many quotes from Liz Phair talking about this album because that's we rarely have that on the album concept hour where there is so many direct quotes from the actual artist. So it's nice.
I mean, you know, the telling people that it's a reaction to Exile on Main Street was marketing genius in my opinion.
Absolutely.
That's
Well,
just
yeah, was
gonna
that
get
well
everybody's
known?
attention right away, right?
Was that like well known at the time? Okay.
They were talking about it on the radio when it first came out, and I've heard her say since that it's a load of crap and she just made it up because there were 18 songs and she thought it'd sell it. But I've also heard her talk about it really seriously, so who knows?
Yeah. I've seen her talk about it seriously as well, and but it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. Some of these artists, I think, just like to fuck around sometimes.
Yeah.
You know,
a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B in this case.
Yeah. I get the feeling that a lot of these music artists just like to tell different people different things because they answer the same question so many times. You know,
it's probably boring 300th time you're asked something in a tour for a
You're like,
album.
no, I was lying all the other times I said it. This time it's the truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that it definitely there are a few songs that have a pretty clear connection, but
sure.
Again, we'll investigate that further when we get to Exile on Main Street, though, because now I'm very curious. Maybe Mick Jagger actually based that album of a future vision of Exile in Guyville. You know, maybe there's something
the
like
multiverse. Maybe this came first.
Yeah. Who knows?
You never know, man.
Oh, with the multiverse in play,
who sang it in that multiverse?
Ooh. I wonder.
It came around the same time.
That was probably when, I think we've talked about this before, like the version of the universe where like a couple characters or people in Rolling Stones and the Beatles are just swapped.
Yeah,
you know,
that'd be fun. And
Although I
it
think
could
we
have
might have been
happened.
talking about the Beach Boys. We might have been talking about the Beach Boys in that
Well,
context.
okay, we did. We actually were.
I forget. There's so
But,
many.
but there's so many
episodes.
different variations. You go multiverse, yay, madness, woo! Anyways,
More multiverse, less madness.
it's coming. It's coming.
But
Can I play with madness?
can I play with madness? Oh yeah, can I play with madness? Oh God! Oh God!
I think I'm going to steal that from you and burn it and bury it in the ground.
Oh my God! That was disturbing.
That was a
He's
multitude.
gonna
That was
jump
a
up
yeah.
and down on the
That was
Yeah.
good.
place
that was a
he buries it.
multitude of madness.
That was a great way to
multitude
end the album.
of madness. Well, we have one more thing that we do on the podcast before we get out of here, and that is go around the horn and find out what everyone has been listening to and what they have to plug. I'm actually going to do opposite of what I usually do. I'll end it, and I'll start with our guest, Jay. Oh no, you're not ready. We can go. You can go
No,
different.
I can
time.
go. I haven't
Jay,
been,
what have you been listening to lately, and what do you have to plug? And then we'll go to Dave, John, and me.
I haven't been listening to an awful. Like the only new thing I've been listening to is Silk Sonic, which you guys already did.
Yeah.
That
Oh, yeah.
album, I love every minute of it.
Oh yeah,
So
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Can't listen to it enough.
So
Yeah,
nostalgic.
yeah. I
Other
need
than
to
that,
throw it on
lately,
again.
I've been on a pretty big reggae
it's been a few
kick
months.
for some reason.
Okay.
So I mean, I listen to a lot of WRT, and there's a couple of really good reggae shows on.
Yeah, they
Saturday.
do have some great reggae on WRT for sure.
So just a lot of like
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
doing is, YouTube reggae playlists or
Uh-huh.
YouTube music reggae playlists or Spotify playlists. And
Yeah,
then, of
yeah.
course, all the playlists that, Dave and I think you're on there.
Oh yeah. You guys are really great with the playlists. I wish I made more playlists, but well, I guess I do kind of for side B. But yeah. By the way, once we're done with side B, we're gonna try to put out a few of those playlists. Speaking of playlists, we've been always meaning to, but there's just a lot to do. But yeah, I love you guys. I love watching what's going on the little Facebook group that you guys have. People share playlists pretty regularly. And we have Dave's playlists actually on the last episode. If you want to check out one of Dave's playlists, I'll put the link in this description too. Honestly,
Go for it.
so yeah. Playlists, guys, they're great.
They're fun.
Nice.
The modern equivalent of the mixtape, right?
Yeah. It's
Tape, CD, and now
people
playlist.
are now making mixtapes again, which is crazy.
Good for
I
them.
just knew that was old.
Yeah. I actually need to buy a tape recorder thing because I need to do something for my sister because she's got an old tape that she wants digitized. But yeah, it's crazy though that Zoomers jumped onto that.
Mm-hmm.
But what about you, Dave? What have you been listening to, and what do you got to plug?
Well, funny thing is a lot of that playlist that we just mentioned, and as I go through it, they keep adding more stuff to it. So it's just this nonstop growing playlist, and like in back of my mind, like when we do these episodes, I always think about like whatever, like when this album came out, 93, like what was Liz Phair listening to? Because you didn't have like the accessibility we do now. You can't just like type in and search and like have like a million songs on your fingertips.
Yeah.
So I slowly putting that list together. I put it sort of like in a chronologically released order. Like so, all
cool.
that's like the songs are coming
That's
out as
so
they
cool,
were
dude.
released.
Dude.
And
that
some
sounds-
are a little.
yeah.
There might be some on the iffy spot because I can't find exact like months on some of them. They just like 86. I'm like, well, this sounds like it probably came out before this. True.
Dave,
Mhm,
you're putting so much heart and soul into this. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a fun like walk down that lane. Like, oh yeah, so this led to this, and this song came to this, and these bands became of this, and
Ah, dude.
so it's kind of this kind of just fun
Yeah.
little story.
That's my kind of playlist. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
And to plug, I'll stay in the lane of punk rock. Jughead's Basement. It's a fun podcast. He was a
Okay.
old original founding member of Screeching Weasel. Had a bunch of other bands.
He's got his podcast.
Does a lot of. He did improv. He was a writer and actor. He's done a lot of just random stuff. But like all his interviews are like old.
What's it called again?
Jughead's Basement.
I'm gonna check that out.
And the shows are really done well. He's just the stories that he gets from like just other musicians, and
Yeah.
they're pretty fun. They might be an hour and a half, 2 hours long, but they blow by so fast because I just for my love of these people in the bands, I'm like so enthralled and just like, oh shit, that was 2 hours. All right, well done.
Yeah. I've been looking for some good music podcasts.
So those are listens and plugs.
Nice. And what about you, John? What have you been listening to? What do you got to plug?
Oh, well, I've been working a lot lately, so I haven't been like listening too hard to much, especially because my speaker died, you know, so it's been hard to, yeah. No. But either way, you know, but at Wings, I've been listening to, we've been watching a lot of like Vivo. So a lot of like 70s, 80s, 90s videos, you know. I mean, I saw some Blink 182 where they're like running through the streets naked.
Oh yeah.
You know?
What's my age again?
I saw a really great, horribly confusing Michael Jackson 5 video where it's like literally like a 15-minute long video. It's like a feature length thing. There's like this whole introduction. And then there's this ending with like the credits. It
sounds
a whole
like Thriller.
Thing. Yeah. Only it was less entertaining than Thriller. It was younger Michael Jackson, you know?
Interesting.
Probably just read to their dad, probably.
Oh, and I saw another great video with it was literally like these guys just playing soccer and like little like fucking tennis shorts, and it was just an absolutely ridiculous video. Lionel Richie, Commodores,
music
video. It was the Commodores.
Yeah. I
they
forgot
were
the
playing
context.
Soccer.
Forgot the context of the conversation for a second.
It was so weird. It was so weird, but it was hilarious.
Oh yeah, that does.
Just watching weird guys playing soccer.
No,
in
it was
shorts.
literally we were watching '80s videos, and all of a sudden it was a Commodores video.
That's the shorts were very short,
and it was the Commodores against the team of women.
Yeah.
And they were just playing soccer, and they all had the same shorts on, and it was
probably
weird.
A team.
Yeah,
Commodores.
But
otherwise,
Richie, okay. So just you know, listening to some weird stuff and some good stuff though. Saw some really good live videos too, though. You know, some really. I saw a Jackson 5 video from the Ed Sullivan Show. It was cool.
Okay. Nice. Lots of good Jackson 5 happening.
Thank you for letting me be myself.
Hello. Are these the shorts you're looking for?
Otherwise, I like to plug the Lightning page.
The Power Rangers.
Hey man, I've been displaying a lot of my collection on there. They've been real good to me. So yeah. Otherwise, just be good to you. Be good to yourselves out there.
Be good to each other out there.
Be good to each other. It's getting rough out there.
Out there.
That's what I'd like to plug.
And as far as me, I am going to say, as far as what I've been listening to, I ran into this Himiko Kikuchi album called The Flying Beagle. It's I believe a Japanese artist that does like city what people are now calling city pop. But I ran into this randomly. It was just a YouTube suggestion. And the picture on the cover is just the most adorable beagle. So I was just like, I gotta click on that.
YouTube, you know me too well.
They put it in front of me for a while before I clicked on it, but I was like, eventually, I had to know what album had a beagle on the cover, and it's a really, really great listen. If you're into just random international jams, and I've also been listening to Action Boys. I did a month of the Patreon for Action Boys because I wanted to hear Gabrus, Ben Rogers, and Stanger talk about action movies. So, if you're really into action movies, go check out Action Boys. They could probably use a few patrons. And I'm just at the cusp of being from that generation that was raised by action movies, because pretty much up to early 90s, it was all action movies all the time.
Tom Cruise wasn't in it. It wasn't worth bunk.
It wasn't worth bunk.
He wasn't even an action star yet.
No. Yeah, he's the new era of action star. But
he was a love interest in the 80s. Leader Man and Love
Arnold
Interest.
Schwarzenegger with Predator and Commando.
Commando, that movie cracks me
Lots
up.
of Schwarzenegger and Commando and stuff. So if you're into that kind of thing, check out Action Boys. Also, we do have a Patreon still. Flyover State Park is still around, and once we start to put our YouTube series together, we're going to be dropping our full unedited commentary tracks on the music movies that we talk about. So like and subscribe on the YouTube, and look forward to our music movies tonight is what we landed on finally as a title, and we're looking to maybe mid to late August.
Was it like a dartboard? What did you guys end up using to decide?
Well, we had a lot of other things that we were thinking of, and then I looked at the notes that me and you originally took, and I was like, oh, music movies tonight. That's like way easier and better than most of the other ones we thought of, because it fits with this album concept hour thing. Look forward to that. We have our first episode shot. We're going to shoot our second one, where we are going to watch the No Holds Barbecue.
Oh God!
Who's the guy?
David Lee Roth.
David Lee Roth's No Holds Barbecue.
I watched some of that, and by the way, I want to
is that?
agree with your thread theory.
Just Google it. Google
Okay.
it.
Will do.
And
Trey, just watch the first
we will
minute,
be
and after that,
talking
you're
about
good.
it
That's
very
all
soon.
you need, Dave. I watched the first.
No,
minute,
I watched like 15, and it did
and
not
I-
change. I'm like, all
like,
right.
No, I literally watched.
Yeah.
Like, I saw your thread conversation.
Yeah. We're
And
gonna
I
watch-
watched the first minute of
Yeah.
it, and I was like, "Holy crap! What is
Yeah.
this?"
Yeah,
Is
we're
this
gonna
all
watch
this is?
all 60 minutes of it.
This video is sponsored
What?
by cocaine.
Film ourselves. We're
There
gonna
is
watch.
60 minutes of that.
That's what I
Yes.
heard.
We might have to.
Oh,
do
it's
some
like over an
drugs for
hour.
that.
Yeah,
Jesus
we're
Christ.
gonna watch. We're gonna watch all of it. We're gonna try to
Holy
get into the
shit.
mindset
We
of
might-
David Lee
Oh
Roth
my
in the
God.
'90s, trying to fit in with the alternative crowd.
Oh my God!
So if you wanna hear about more music movies like that, you're gonna have to
please
check out our
we
YouTube
have a
page.
line to call. Too.
kids, you like rock music?
I've only seen like 1 minute of it or something. I'm trying not to touch it because I want to be just completely just let it wash over me for the first time.
I went like comatose, and 15 minutes through, I couldn't move. I'm like, what is happening? Like, I can't stop it. I want to stop it. I should stop this.
Yeah. You didn't respond immediately. I feel like you were in shock, maybe.
Oh, I was in full-on shock mode.
Yeah, I was like, this is gonna be hard for Dave.
My brain was breaking. I was like, my computer starts like freezing. Like, it's like things aren't loading properly.
Yeah,
Like, what
you
is
can't
happening?
possibly be wanting to watch this.
I hope we sell this to everyone listening.
Yeah.
Were you making those noises like Homer when he watches the commercial for the Mr. Sparkle?
No, God, why does this exist? But thank you, Jay, so much though for being on the podcast. I'm really glad we've covered some Liz Phair. This album is going into rotation. This is makes you feel feels. So definitely check it out, and check out Speedy Ortiz if you want more. And thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks again, Jay, and we will see you guys.
Thanks, guys. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week on the Album Concept Hour. The Album Concept Hour is Brad LeBaron, Dave Gallagher, John Aker, and Jake the Snake Foster. Special thanks to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard for the theme music. Join the discussion on our Discord, tweet to us at Album Concept Pod, or for everything else, go to Linktree/Flyover State Park. See you on Side B. This is Flyover State Park. You are clear to land.